seed technology, fertilizer use, and soil health, found ourselves with surplus produce that we had to sell at throwaway prices just to avoid incurring the cost of transporting the unsold stock back home. This made me begin to understand just how unpredictable farming could be and how fragile the livelihoods of farmers were. Then, during COVID-19 2020, I decided to diversify and went into value addition. But soon realized that value addition process who will take the produce, and the off-takers are assured of a sustainable quality and consistent supply of raw materials. Then, with over 14 years in events industry, I have seen firsthand how platforms like this can create meaningful dialogue and provide solutions. This success in any business, including farming, comes from sharing knowledge and learning from others, which we are here to do today. It is in line with this that Sunflower Events partnered with various organizations, namely Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Kerio Valley Development Authority, Kenya National Farmers Federation, Organic Fertilizer and Input Manufacturers Association of Kenya, Kenya Private Sector Alliance, and Agriculture Sector Network, with a shared vision to play a part in bringing key stakeholders together to discuss and share knowledge on contract farming. It is always important to farm with a plan, I believe. It is not enough to simply plant a crop, whatever it is, without knowing where it will end up. Farmers should know beforehand what to grow and where to sell. This is why contract farming is so important, as it provides the framework of certainty and sustainability. But it's not just about the traditional farmer. I believe that we can state the benefits of contract farming to those who may not be farmers right now themselves, but they own a piece of land. There are many people in this country and across Africa with acres of land lying idle that could be utilized to contribute to our food security. If you own land and you're here, think about how you can farm it. Without contract farming, with contract farming, you don't need to be an expert in farming. You only need the right solutions and the right partners. It therefore gives me great joy to be part of this important gathering where we have the opportunity to not only share our experiences, but also discuss possible solutions to the pressing issues that face our farmers and the agricultural value chains today. In conclusion, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, mine is a call for partnership and innovation in contract farming to build a pathway towards sustainable, productive, and inclusive agricultural systems. In Kenya, it has shown success in some sectors from tea to horticulture by linking smallholder farmers to global markets and improving livelihoods. Let us remember that contracting farming true potential lies in collaboration between companies, governments, financial institutions, and farmers, which can transform agriculture, empower farmers, and unlock economic potential for the continent and the future of sustainable agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you. Another round of applause for Paris. Paris, your passion is infectious. Thank you for seeing a gap. Thank you for bringing us together to have critical conversations around how we can bring partners together, bring stakeholders together to around contract farming, to bring that reliability, to bring the systems, to bring the connections to market. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is now my pleasure and privilege to invite Carol Karaoke, CEO KEPSA, to speak. Before joining KEPSA, Carol worked briefly for Barclays Bank of Kenya, Nairobi Chapel, and Sagamore Institute for Public Policy Research in Indianapolis, Indiana, where she acted as a liaison between Kenya Private Sector Alliance and the institution before formally joining KEPSA. She worked for several years at KEPSA before being appointed KEPSA CEO. Ms. Karaoke is credited for transforming KEPSA from a little-known business organization to one of the most influential organizations in Kenya and globally. Karibu sana, Carol.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. Has anyone had a cup of tea or waiting for the 10 o'clock? Yeah. Let me stand on the protocols that have been observed and just go straight to the point. But I'm really, really excited to be part of this conference on contract farming, something that I also have a passionate as I try to be a farmer in my small ways. And so I'm looking forward to what will come out of here so that I can also test it and see if it's what we are really looking forward to. But also let me recognize the government officials who are here with us and really pass our greetings to the CS and really look forward on how we can work together between the private sector and government and all the farmers in this area, because it's a real it's an area that we really must. And I'll begin with some statistics just to show you how important this area is, especially for Africa, and why we need to put some good focus on it. Being a pillar of the economy and employing 60% of the population in Africa, agriculture only contributes 23% of Africa's GDP. So something doesn't add up right there. And that's where we need to look at that. In Kenya alone, agriculture accounts for 26% of the national GDP, but yet it employs over 40% of the total population. So where is the gap? The challenges threaten the stability and growth of this vital sector. And contract farming is one of the ways that we can start addressing that gap by what we need to do in the area. But what are the opportunities that are offered by contract farming, and why should we be talking about it? Why should we be putting efforts? Why should government be looking at it and putting the right policies? Why are we in private sector and the big farmers looking at contract farming? One is access to quality inputs and improved farming methods. What contract farming does for those who are new to it is arrangements often provide farmers with high quality inputs, such as seeds, fertilizers, and equipment. And many times the small farmers may never be able to access that because of the costs. For example, in Kenya's tea sector, companies working with contract farmers have introduced quality seeds and best practices that have increased yields 20 to 30%. So you can imagine if we did that with every sector and increased our yields to about 20 to 30%, then we'll have crossed that gap of our GDP mismatch between what agriculture is and what it contributes. And so through better, quality inputs, farmers can improve their productivity, which leads to increased incomes and a sustainable way to manage their resources. The other opportunity that is offered by contract farming is enhanced farmer incomes and economic stability. A significant benefit of contract farming is stable income. When you think about small-scale farmers and when they have to produce and then go look for markets every time, then they don't have a stable income. But when they know the market is sure and someone is going to take the product, then they have a stable income. And you can imagine once you have a stable income, what it will do to the livelihoods of these farmers. And they're able to engage and plan their finances more effectively, knowing that they will not have losses. For example, in Kenya's dairy industry, contract arrangements have provided farmers with consistent income and increased their profits by 25%. Again, that's only the dairy industry that I'm quoting. if we did that with every sector, subsector in agriculture and increased by their profits by 25%, then what we talk about poverty in the rural areas, poverty among small scale farmers would be history. Job creation and economic development. Contract farming fosters job creation both directly and indirectly. From on-farm jobs to roles within the broader value chain, contract farming models contribute to job growth. According to studies, contract farming could create over 1.5 million jobs in the agriculture sector by 2030. And I think that's a really conservative number. I think it could be more if we did that with every subsector of agriculture. And I think one of the things that, in terms of job creation, it's also for the young people. How do you interest the young people to be in farming? When they think about that they're going back to do the same farming their grandparents did, their parents did, they will not be interested in. But if they see modern farming with modern technology and where the markets are available, and when you think about the young people, they use e-commerce even for being able to sell. They're agile. They can access the export markets if they work with the big with the big buyers and all that. Then it would interest a lot of our young people back to farming, but a different kind of farming. Market access and export growth. Contract farming really allows our African farmers to access regional and international markets. We have ACFTA, the African Free Trade. This is an opportunity for farmers to be able to access this, and especially small farmers to be able to access some of these trade agreements that our governments are signing to allow us to do our exports and to do business without being left out of these opportunities. Kenya now supplies high quality produce to European market because, for instance, avocado and horticulture growers were able to, through contract farming, this is what has given a lot of our small farmers access to the international market with approximately $1 billion annually to the Kenya's economy. So a lot of what we see being exported, we know it's not just being done by the big farmers, but it's because they've contracted small farmers. But the other opportunity it offers is that value chains with the big businesses. Every big business does not want to set a factory, then go and look for a farm and start producing. And so contract farming allows that interaction, but it also creates that journey for these small farmers and small businesses to be able to grow and become the big businesses of tomorrow. The impact of contract farming extends beyond individual livelihoods. It has the potential to transform the entire agriculture sector. For example, contract farming in Kenya has increased productivity by introducing high-yield seeds and modern farming methods, improving yields up to 40% in some sectors. Farmers engaged in contract farming are better equipped to manage risks, reducing post-harvest losses by up to 20%. Smallholder farmers